Good day, ladies and gentlemen, personalities. My name is Mqondisi Macaba from Thembela Maths Club, a club that helps learners to understand mathematics. Today, we are going to be speaking about a topic of maths in the grade 10 CAPS syllabus in South Africa. And then we're going to be speaking about simultaneous linear equations. Right, simultaneous linear equations. Now, there is this big word that we are confronted with, simultaneous. Simultaneous is just a fancy word for at the same time. So you've got equations here where we're going to solve x and y at the same time, or we must find the value of x and also find the value of y. All right, so we are going to look at these kinds of topic. All right, so before we continue, let us establish the objectives of the day. So the objective number one is how to solve for x and y, where that is simultaneous equation. It will be asked like that. They will say solve for x and y. So how do we solve for x and y? That is number one. And then number two, presentation thereof. So we are going to show or share with each other how do we present these kinds of solutions, or how do we write them down properly in an acceptable way in terms of our syllabus. And then thirdly and then lastly, how do we then verify? Verify is just a fancy word for showing or proving. All right, so how do we show that the answer is correct? Okay, so at the end of the session, make sure that all of these three objectives are met. All right, okay. And then so now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, when we are solving simultaneously, you will get a question like this one. Okay, here is question number one. Solve for x and y in x plus 2y is equal to 5 and what? And then x minus y is equal to minus 1. Right, now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, for a record, I think it's very important to note that when you're solving these kinds of questions, there are two methods. All right, now these methods are called, the first one is called elimination, which is my favorite one. And then no, my favorite one is not elimination. My favorite one is what? My favorite one is substitution. Okay, but there is elimination, and then the second one is obviously my favorite one, which is substitution. So now we are going to deal with substitution method for the purposes of this session, and then there is a separate video that is going to show you how to solve this kind of question using what? Using the what do we call this other method again? We call it elimination method. Okay, so let us go through and see how do we get things on the go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, there are some steps that we follow when we try to solve this problem. Let us quickly share these steps so that we can be able to follow them. All right, so step number one, you must label both equations. You must label both equations. Okay, that is step number one. And then step number two, you must make x and y to be the subject of your formula. Step number three, you must label that equation that you make into as a subject of formula. You must label it as equation number three, right? And then number four, you then need to substitute the equation, the one that you made in 3, you must substitute it in the equation that it wasn't derived from. And then number 5, you must find the value of one of the variables. And then number 6, you must substitute that variable in equation 3 to find the other equation. I know, ladies and gentlemen, you are saying, what the heck? So many steps. Look at all of them. And they look very, very hectic. Look. They look very hectic. Let me put them like this so that they look more hectic than they were. Okay, yes, they do look hectic, ladies and gentlemen, but we are going to do one by one so that we can show how easy that can be. All right, so let's look at the first step. What is the first step? Step number one, label both equations. Okay, so when I label the equations, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say this is equation 1, all right, and then this is equation 2. Number 1 is done. All right, I've labeled both equations. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. All right, now step number 2, make x and y to be the subjects of the formula. Okay, so okay, let me see here, which one am I going to make the subject of the formula? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take any equation. Okay, so in this particular case, let me take this one, equation 2, and then I will say from 2, which means equation 2, then what do I have? I'm going to have, because x is already without a negative number, I will just make it to be the one that is going to be the subject of the formula, and then x is going to be equal to what? Equal to, and then take this y to this side, and then it's going to be y minus 1, and then this will give me equation number 3. Now that is step number 3. Okay, so after making this to be such a formula, and then I labeled number 3, so step number 3 gone. All right, so I'm remaining with 3 more steps. Okay, so what do I do next? I've done 3 steps already. Okay, what do I do next? Let's see. Number 4, substitute the equation 3 in the equation that it wasn't derived from. All right, okay, so we can see here that equation 3 was derived from equation 2. It is even written here from 2. Okay, so when I substitute this one, I must substitute it where? Here, because it is where it wasn't derived from. Okay, so now whenever I do something in simultaneous equation, I must always say that, look, this is what I'm doing. So this is what I'm going to say. Okay, for substitution, substitute 3 in equation what? In equation 1. Yes. Okay, now let me do it. I take equation 1 as it is. It's going to be x plus 2y is equal to 5, and then x will then be what? Will then be y minus 1. So y minus 1 in a place of x, and then is equal to what? Is equal to not is equal to, it's x and then plus plus 2y. Okay, let me write it properly. So it's going to be y minus 1, right, plus 2y is equal to what? Is equal to 5, right? Now from here, y plus 2y is what? Is 3y. And then when you take this one to the side, this will end up being 5. When you take this one to the side, it's going to be 5 plus 1. Okay, so you end up with 3y. 5 plus 1 is what? 5 plus 1 is 6. And then so now you divide by 3 both sides. This cancels this, and then you remain with y. And then 6 divided by 3, you get what? You get 2. So the value of y is 2. All right, so I am done with step number 5. Okay, I did substitute the equation, and then step number 5 was saying find the value of one of the variables. Now I have found the value of one of the variables, and then so the last step, substitute that variable, the one that you found in the in equation 3, to find another. So I will take this value that I did find there and substitute in equation 3 so that I find another value. So equation 3, and then so I'm going to substitute what? Substitute y is equal to 2, where? In equation 3. Okay, so how do I do that? I say x, take it as it is equal to y minus 1, right? And then y is what? Y is 2 minus 1, and then 2 minus 1 is what? Is 1. Okay, so therefore, how do I then present my answer? Therefore, x is equal to 1, and what? And then y is equal to 2. Okay, now there is a question that follows that one. Okay, remember, we're supposed to, when we're speaking about the objectives, where are the objectives? We're supposed to solve for x and y, and then presentation, you saw how this is presented, and then 3, you have to verify if the answer is correct. So how do you then verify if these values are the values of x and y? Right? By the way, guys, these are points of intersections. That is where these two that is where these two graphs or these two equations intersect at, if you were to put them on the graph. All right. Okay, now let us try and show that this is correct. Okay, if it's correct, then we are fine, then we are done. But if it's not correct, if these values are not correct, then it means we did something wrong. That means we'll have to start, but we'll have to start afresh. Okay, so how do we show? So this is how we show. What we do is we take each equation. Okay, let's start with the first one, equation 1, and then we'll say x plus 2y is equal to what? Is equal to 5. Okay, and then we're going to substitute this x in a place of x, and then substitute this y in a place of y, and then so we're going to get 1 plus 2, and then our y is what? Is 2. Okay, and then we equate with the number that is here, 5. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, if our left hand side becomes is the same as our right hand side, that means that our values are correct. But if that is not the case, it means our values are wrong. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we've got what? We've got 5 is equal to 5, which means the left hand side is equal to right hand side. And then what does this mean? This implies that our values are correct. Guys, this could be a question. Okay, this could be a question, and then you will need to know how to show that these answers or these values are correct. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to emphasize this one. So in this particular case, I decided to use elimination method. The equation didn't say, but obviously I'm doing this video for elimination method. But in terms of how it would be asked, in terms of how it will be asked in test in the exam, when they want you to use elimination method, they will tell you that, okay, use elimination method. If they want you to use substitution method, they will say, okay, use substitution method. All right. But sometimes they won't say, then you will have to decide. It will be, the honors will be entirely up to you to decide whether you want to use elimination method or substitution method. And then here we are just using what? Substitution method. All right. So this is how we approach. So now we have seen that our values are correct. That means we close chapter in as far as this problem is concerned. And then we know that we are sorted. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Now, let us then continue and then find the values, the appropriate values of x and y in another equations. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let us consolidate what we've been doing and let us solve simultaneously in another equation to see if we did get hold of the steps. Okay, now they say solve simultaneously, which is the same thing as solve for x and y. It's just a different way of asking in these following equations. All right, so they're giving us the equations. There is 3x plus y, which is equal to 2, and then there is 6x minus y, which is equal to 25. Okay, so what do we do? So here's our solution. Okay, we go back to our scope. So what does our scope say? Okay, number one, label both equations. Okay, let's do that. So we'll say 3x plus y is equal to 2. This is equation 1. And then we'll say 6x minus y is equal to what? Is equal to 25. This will be equation 2. All right, step number 1 done. Step number 2, make x or y to be the subject of the formula. All right, okay, let's see. Can we make x be the subject of the formula? It's gonna be a lot of work for us. There is y, which is already without a negative sign and without any coefficient, so let's make that to be subject of the formula. Okay, so from equation, guys, it's very important to show from which equation does your equation tree comes from, so that you can be able to make sure that when you substitute, you don't substitute in the equation of which the equation tree comes from. Okay, so from equation what? From equation 1, we get what? We get y to be equal to, you take this 3x to the side, so it's going to be 2 minus 3x. Right, now that was step number 2. Now let's look at step number 3. Step number 3, label that equation to be what? To be equation 3. So let's do it. This is now equation 3. Right, 3 steps gone. Okay, next one, step number 4, substitute the equation 3. Substitute equation 3 in the equation that it wasn't derived from. Okay, equation 3 was derived from 1, so we need to substitute it where? In equation 2, because it wasn't derived from equation 2. All right, let's see. So what am I doing now? I am going to substitute substitute what? Substitute equation 3 in equation what? Equation 2. Okay, not in equation 1, because it's where it comes from. All right, now how do we do that? We write equation 2 as it is, so it's going to be 6x minus y, which is equal to 25. All right, and then 6x minus, in the place of y, what do we put? We put 2 minus 3x, and then which is equal to 25. Okay, 6x remains as it is, 6x, and then minus times 2, and then you got minus 2, and then this multiplied by this one, you get plus 3x, which is equal to what? 25. Okay, 6x plus 3x is equal to 9x, so you get 9x, and then you get 25, and then this 2 is minus, so when you put it that side, it's going to be what? Plus 2. Okay, so you get 9x, which is equal to 25 plus 2 is what? Is 27. And then you don't want 9x, you want x, so you're going to divide by 9 both sides, and then this 9 will cancel this 9, and then x will be equal to 27 divided by 9. That is nothing other than what? That is nothing other than 3. Right, so x is equal to 3. Right, so we did get, now this was step number 5, where you were supposed to find the value of one of the variables. One of the variables is 3. Now what is the last step? Substitute that variable in equation 3 so that you can find the other one. Okay, where is equation 3? Here is equation 3. So substitute x, which is equal to 3, in equation what? Equation 3. So how do we do that? We said y is equal to 2 minus 3x, and then y is equal to 2 minus 3, and then there is this 3 that we are substituting. So 3 times 3 is what? Is 9. So 2 minus 9 is what? Is minus 7. So therefore, x is equal to what? X is equal to 3 and y is equal to minus 7. Okay, so as a normal practice, we then need to check if these values are correct. So how do we go about checking that? It's very easy. So what we're going to do, let's quickly find another piece of paper. Okay, let's put it here. Okay, we said we take both equations and then we want to check. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first equation. The first equation is 3x plus y, which is equal to 2. So we'll take the left hand side. Let's not take the left hand side, let's substitute both sides in the same way as we did earlier. So we will say 3, and then the value of x is 3, right? Okay, and then plus, and then the value of y is minus 7, and then we bring this 2 just as it's easier to. And then 3 times 3 is what? Is 9 minus 7. Okay, and then which is equal to 2. And then 9 minus 7 is equal to 2. So 2 is equal to 2, which means left hand side is equal to right hand side. And what does it mean? That means our equation, not our equations, our solutions. Solutions are what? Are correct. Okay. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, we only checked for one equation. What about the other equations? Because there are 2 equations that are involved, so we can't just check for one equation. Okay, so let's check for the second one. What is the second one? The second one is 6x minus y is equal to what? Is equal to 25. Now 6, what is our x? Our x is 3. Okay, our x is 3, so 3 minus, and then there's minus 7, okay, is equal to 25, and then 3 times 6 times 3 is equal to 18, and then plus 7, which is equal to 25. We'll just bring this 25 down, and then 18 plus 7 is also 25. So 25 is equal to 25, which means the left hand side is equal to what? Is equal to the right hand side. Okay, and then what does it mean? That means our solutions are correct. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I noticed that in the earlier this is ours. In the equation that we did earlier, we only checked for, remember this one, we only checked for one equation. We can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. We can't do that. We must check both of them. Let's check the second one. The second one is x minus y is equal to minus 1. Okay, so what is our x here? Our x was 1, so we say 1 minus, what is our y? Our y was 2 is equal to, so 1 minus 2 is minus 1, and minus 1, which means our left hand side is equal to what? Is equal to our right hand side. Now what does that mean? That means that our solutions are correct. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget, it is important to do this just to make sure that your equations are correct, but it is not compulsory to write them unless you are specifically requested by the examiner, that person who is examining you, to actually prove that your solutions are correct. All right, now ladies and gentlemen, personalities, let us take the last problem. So we've done 2 problems so far and then we've verified both of them. Now let us take the last one, and then we close shops after that. Now where is the last one? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's say we are requested to solve for x and y in the following simultaneous equations. All right, now guys, here things are not very easy. You see, I can't easily make x to be subject to formula here. I can't easily make y to be subject to formula here, because I will have an equation that has fractions. Okay, and then here also, if I take y to the side, I'll need to divide by 5 both sides, and then if I divide by 5 in 2, it's going to be a mess. So it's going to be a mess, but still I am required to solve these things by substitution, because we are doing substitution. So how do we then do it? How do we then do it? Okay, so I said earlier that I always take variables so that I avoid fractions, but now it seems as if I can't run away from fractions anymore. So there's nothing I can do, so I will have to do what? To deal with fractions. Fractions, guys, in general, if there is a chance to run away from them, do run away from them, but there are some instances where you cannot run away from fractions. Now in those instances, you must just be able to face them head on. Okay, so what do we then do? Okay, we know the steps. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Okay, and then let's take from equation 2, we can take from both equations, because here it doesn't really make sense, but it's fine. We're going to take from equation 2. From equation 2, we'll get what? 5x now, which is going to be equal to, take this 2y to this side, and then you're going to get 2y here, and then minus 18. Okay, but now we want x or either y to be subject of formula. So in this case, we want x to be subject of a formula, so we're going to divide by 5. But if I divide by 5 here, I must also divide by 5 here. I must also divide by 5 here. So this 5 will cancel this 5, and then I will remain with x, and then is equal to 2 over 5y minus 18 over 5. Now this is my equation 3. Okay, and then what is my next step? My next step is I'm going to substitute equation 3 in the equation that it was not made from. Okay, I know that equation 2 was made from equation 2, so I'm going to substitute equation 3 in equation 1. So I'm going to declare that I'm going to substitute equation 3 in equation what? Equation 1. All right, so how do I do that? Let me quickly write equation 1 as it is. It's going to be 3x plus 2y is equal to 2, and in the place of x now I need to put this one. So 3 and then 2 over 5y, yes, I'm right, minus 18 over 5. Okay, and then plus 2y is equal to 2. Okay, I'm remaining with this mess now. Okay, but I will see what I can do. Okay, so if I multiply this with this one, I'm going to get 6 over 5y, and then this with this, 3 times 18. What is 3 times 18? It's, let me see, let's add 2 here and make it 20. So 20 times 3 is going to be 60, but then you had 3 2's, then you minus those 3 2's, and then you're gonna get 54. Aha, I used to be smart when I was still young. I'm happy that I'm still am. So minus 54 over 5, and then plus 2y is equal to 2. Okay, guys, I did that using what do they call it, using my mind, but there is nothing wrong with actually using a calculator to find the solution to this fraction that I was calculating. Okay, so don't be intimidated by me. All right, okay, so the values with y will remain here, and then the values without y will go on the other side. So I'll end up having 6 y over 5 plus 2y is equal to 2 plus 54 over 5. All right. Okay, now because now I'm also becoming lazy, let me now also use a calculator so that I can speedily find the solutions. Yes. Right, so let's go. So I do not know if you can see what is happening in this calculator. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this part. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2. Plus, and then this, and then I have 54 over what? Over 5. Then I get 64 over 5. That is what I get here. So let me put it down. It's going to be 64 over 5. Okay, so how do I deal with this side, guys? Remember, these are like terms, so I can just remove y both sides because they are like terms anyway, and then put these numbers as they are. So I'm going to say 6 over 5, 6 over 5, and then say plus so on a calculator, and then see what I get. I get 16 over 5. Okay, so my 16 over 5, but I must remember that there is also y because there was y here. All right. So can you see there is 5 here, there is 5 here. So what do? I cancel 5 both sides. I multiply with 5 both sides, multiply by 5, and then multiply by 5. So this 5 cancel this 5, I remain with 16, and then this 5 cancel this 5, 16y, and then I remain with 64. And then divided by 16 because I want y, divided by 16. Now 64 divided by 16, what do you get there? 64 divided by 16. I'm also being lazy now. I'm putting even this on a calculator, so you get 4. Okay, so y is equal to 4. Okay, so that is our value of y. All right, and then you know what to do after that. When you found the value of one of the variables, what you should do is you should use that variable, that value that you did find, and substitute it in equation 3 so that you can actually find the other value. Okay, so we've got in equation 3, so we're going to substitute y is equal to 4 in equation 3. Okay, in equation 3. So what is equation 3? Here is equation 3. Equation 3 is x, which is equal to 2 over 5 y minus 18 over 5. Okay, and then equal to, let's substitute. So it's 2 over 5, and then our y is 4, and then minus 18 over 5. Okay, guys, let me be lazy again and put these things exactly like they are in a calculator. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so we're going to have we're going to have 3, no, not 3, 2 over 5, and then we open bracket and we say 4, just like this. Now that's what I don't like about calculators. You just put things as they are, and then you get some. Oh, look at what I'm doing now. All right, let me focus. I'm going to say focus. Okay, so it's going to be 118. So 1/8, which is 18 over 5. And then so what we get? We get minus. So our answer is minus 2. So our x is equal to minus 2. Now when we conclude, we will say x is equal to minus 2 and y is equal to 4. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this was too much of a mess. We might have got some couple of things wrong somewhere there and there. So let's check, is this correct? ladies and gentlemen, personalities, is this correct, right? So that these grade 10 learners who are looking at this video will not be confused. Okay, let's check if this is correct. You can check it on your own first and then see what answer you get, and then you can look at what I did. You can pause that video. Don't be lazy as well. Please don't be like me. Remember, I passed my grade 10 already, so don't be like me. Okay, so let's see. Let's take the first equation. Let's test. Okay, the first equation is 3x plus 2y is equal to 2. So let's put, where is the first value? So 3, and then our x is minus 2, plus 2, and then our value is 4, which is equal to 2, the one that we bring here. Okay, 2 times minus 2 is going to be what? It's minus 6, and then this times this is plus 8. So minus 6 plus 8 is 2, and then we bring this 2 down. There we go. So 2 is equal to 2, which means left hand side is equal to what? Is equal to right hand side. That means our answer is correct. Okay, let's test the second one so that we can see and verify that both of them. I'm tired now, guys, but let's just finish this up. Okay, what is the second equation? The second equation is 5x minus 2y is equal to minus 18. All right. Okay, so it's 5. Y is our x? Our x is minus 2, and then minus 2, and then our y is what? Is 4, and then we bring this minus 18 as it is. Okay, 5 times minus 2, that is minus 10, and then minus 2 times 4, that is minus 8, which is equal to this minus 18. We just bring it down, and then minus 10 minus 18 is minus 10 minus 8 is minus 18, which is equal to minus 18. And what does it mean? Left hand side is equal to right hand side, which means our answer is correct. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've done, and our answer has been shown to be correct. But this was a lot of work, guys. I wouldn't like to go too much. I wouldn't want to go through this so much stress. I would love to find a better way. So, ladies and gentlemen, if in these kinds of equation they didn't say that you must solve using substitution method, if they did not specifically require that, ladies and gentlemen, the easy way to solve this kind of equation is to use elimination method. All right, but obviously now we are talking about substitution, and then we will discuss elimination method later, because if you use elimination method, then it doesn't take so much time to solve this one equations. Okay, so what am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, personalities? I'm saying to you, you must always look at the equation that you are given or a problem that you are supposed to be solving. You must always look for an easy way. Remember, we are mathematicians, so our job is to make things easy. Okay, is to make things easy. So if we make things easy, then we must always look for ways in which things could be done easily. So in this particular case, if we could use substitution method here, it takes longer, but if we can use elimination method, it takes less time. But now we were specifically doing what? Substitution method, so we had to do it like this. But anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, personalities, for tuning in, and have a lovely day, and goodbye. Thank you. And if you've got any questions or comments or something that is not clear, please do not hesitate to let us know, to write it down on the comment section below, and then we can check it out and we can try and answer these things as much as we can. All right, so it wouldn't be a problem of our side. But thank you very much for everything, and goodbye.